signing with Rwanda and the Congo.
I have a follow-up.
So I'm a little out of my league in that one because I didn't know too much about it. I knew one thing. They were going at it for many years and with machetes. It is one of the worst wars that anyone's ever seen. And I just happened to have somebody that was able to get it settled. I mean, just a brilliant person who is very comfortable in that part of the world. It's a very dangerous part of the world. I said, are you uncomfortable there? People are being killed. School children are being raided and killed. And I don't even want to say how, but as viciously as I've ever heard. Are you uncomfortable? No, that's the part of the world that I know. Very comfortable. Was able to get them together and sell it. And not only that, we're getting for the United States a lot of the mineral rights from the Congo as part of it. They're so honored to be here. They never thought they'd be coming to, look, this is a very tough part of the world. They never thought, they were just telling me, they never thought they'd ever be coming to the White House, and they're so honored. And so we're going to give them a great big reception. But that's after many years of fighting. It's a great thing. That's at 3 o'clock, I believe.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, what we have here is Trump making a massive peace deal with Rwanda and Congo and making sure to sign that into peace. Now, this has something to do with minerals, which we'll be going over a little bit, but this is a very big W for the United States and a big W for Trump, and this is a really, really good thing. Now, the thing is that there's always going to be, a reasoning for what the peace deal you need. Okay, we're going to give you this, you're going to give you that. That's the type of deal we're going to be doing. So, yeah, so without further ado, my friends, we have it to where this reporter, African reporter, surprised Trump and honestly stunned him about what has been going on in Congo and what she said about the peace treaty and the peace deal, which, by the way, is going to be, the guy should be coming around sometime this month. So we'll be seeing what the president is going to be doing in terms of meeting one of the main leaders there. So that's what we have with this. Now, this happened about 5 or 6 days ago, so I am late on this, but I'm trying to report the bigger news. I haven't been able to because of other stuff, but without further ado, this is a video, or rather the clip of Trump meeting with the reporter and actually, honestly, getting this all started in the first place. Take a look.
That'd be great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.
It's a great honor.
Thank you, Mr. President. So, as Caroline has mentioned, President, first of all, I want to let you know that I'm the only African reporter accredited here at the White House, covered for the entire continent. So, I just arrived from Congo, Democratic Republic of the Congo, yesterday. I went to see firsthand how the people is feeling and the president's message, President Felix Tshisekedi, about this upcoming peace deal. And let me tell you firsthand what I've witnessed myself. I spoke with the people on the street. I spoke with youth. They know your name. They know that our president named President Trump is working hard to finally bring peace to the country. I saw hope. They have hope now for a better day in Congo. They see what you're doing as a future, better future for Congo. And I had opportunity to sit down with President Felix Tshisekedi for an interview because I want to understand his mind, what he's thinking, his feeling about everything that your administration is doing. And he told me firsthand that for many years, many American presidents overlooked this conflict. They didn't do nothing. Even myself, I covered President Biden's administration. I pressed many times about this conflict. People are dying in Congo. This country has so much potential, but they need help because this war is destroying the country. Right. They never gave me any answer. And he told me, President Tshisekedi, that you have no idea, he's very thankful for what you're doing, for what your administration is doing. Not only him, the entire Congolese people. They see that finally they will have hope. And President Tshisekedi also mentioned at the end of my interview that when peace finally comes to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, he's thinking to nominate you as a Nobel Prize Peace because he said you deserve, you have been working to bring peace in the world, not only at the Congo, and he's very hopeful to meet you in the future.
That's so nice, boy, and that's so beautifully stated. And Caroline said, number one, she did say, and I shouldn't say this because it's politically incorrect, she said, she's beautiful, and you are beautiful. I'm not allowed to say that, that could be the end of my political career, but I say it anyway. But you are beautiful, and you're beautiful inside. So I wish I had more reporters like you. So you covered Africa for a long time?
Yes, for over 10 years.
Wow.
I cover even your first administration.
Yes, I know that. That's great. Well, thank you. That's so nice that you said that.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
And I have one more question,
Yes.
Mr. President. Since we know in July or in the future, both President of Rwanda and the Congo will be coming
Yes.
to the United States. In Africa, President João Lourenço, the president of Angola, he is also the leader of African Union.
Good.
He
Yes, I know.
worked very hard to bring peace, but unfortunately...
Let's get him here.
Yes, that's
Okay?
right.
Would you invite him for me?
Of course.
Okay?
Of
No,
course.
we'll have. I know that he works very hard, and he's the head of essentially the union. So the union all over Africa, not the kind of union that we have. This is the union all over Africa, and I'd love to have him. So you'll let him know.
Of course,
Okay.
Mr. President.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Good.
Mr.
Now you go back to where you belong, right?
Yeah, so that's amazing. And it's really funny that this woman had reached out to the Biden administration before, and they didn't do anything. They didn't so much as lift a finger to try to help them. She has reached out to Biden and, of course, the BLM people, but which we all know that the BLM guard doesn't care about black people. They care about only one agenda and one agenda alone, which is to gain money and, trick people. That's what BLM is. They are not a good organization, and a lot of people don't have a lot of support for this terrorist and obviously terrible organization. And this just further proves on how bad Biden is, or how bad Biden was when he was in presidency. He had a chance to potentially end the war in Africa and between Congo and Rwanda, and unfortunately, he just did not do it. He didn't lift a finger. So this is how terrible the Biden administration was, how much he cared for black people, but he didn't. And this really just puts, Trump as being a not racist person, because obviously you can't really put him as being as an actual racist when he's helping a whole bunch of probably millions of Africans, being disenfranchised, right? Now, what we have here is that we have Marco Rubio talking and signing the peace treaty between the Rwanda and Congo, and I'm not so much on his side right now. I still have problems, but he is proving to be a okay person, and he might be lifting me up. I might start liking him. We're gonna wait and see. He may still be a saint. I don't know. He's been doing a really good job so far, but as of right now, I'm still have my concerns about him on the further future. So we'll see on how this guy goes. But this is him signing the peace treaty, and the reporter in Congo explaining the situation and what's been going on here. So without further ado, here we go.
See, this could not have happened without such close friends and partners in the African Union and in Qatar, who we're working a lot lately with Qatar. We're doing a lot of things with you guys, and you've been very instrumental in the African Union. Without this couldn't have happened. I mean, you may put everybody together. I do want to recognize my what I say, former colleagues. It wasn't 6 months ago. I was still a senator, but they're here now, Senators Rounds and Risch. Senator Risch is the chairman of the Foreign Relations Committee and a very close friend of mine, and he's obviously watched this issue very closely. He's made it a priority. And Senator Rounds has been talking to me about this before I was even nominated to the position, and even during the nomination process. And we have others who are not able to make it today that I also want to recognize, Senator Coons and Booker. There's been a lot of interest in this, and we're grateful to all of them. They were invited, but I guess there's stuff going on in the Senate, as you know. And but we're grateful that both of you are here, and it's instrumental. This is an important moment after 30 years of war. President Trump is a president of peace. He really does want peace. He prioritizes it above all else. We saw his intervention in the conflict between India and Pakistan. We saw his intervention most recently as a few days ago in a very dangerous war, right? A very dangerous war that could have really spiraled out of control, and his intervention made that possible. And there are other places that we want to see this, but we're very excited about this, and we can't wait to have the heads of state, the presidents of the respective countries here in Washington in a few weeks to finalize the complete protocol and agreement. But today is an important step in that direction, and we're grateful to be able to host it here at the Department of State. And just thinking, we think sometimes about peace. It's not just about ending wars. It's not just about saving lives. It's about allowing people to live. It's about allowing people to now have dreams and hopes for a better life, for prosperity, for economic opportunity, for family reunification, for all the things that make life worth living. Those things become impossible when there's war and when there's conflict. So we're grateful to have played the role we've played. We acknowledge and recognize there's still more work to be done. But we thank you all very much for being a part of this historic and important day. This is really why I wanted this job, or why I embraced this job so much, is moments like this. This is, in essence, the Department of State is really the Department of Peace. It's designed to bring people together, both in our relations with other countries, but to the extent we can use the stature and the influence of the United States to bring others together. It makes the world a better place. And I honestly believe that when there's peace in the world among friends who may have disagreements and conflict, it does help America. It does help make America stronger and safer and more prosperous. It gives us partners we can do business with. And partners that we can work with to address insecurity and threats to our national security and to our collective national security. So we are grateful to both of you. I know how hard this was and how much work went into it, and we know there's more work to be done.
Okay, if you're just joining us, we've just been watching the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who has been hosting a peace agreement signing ceremony between the foreign ministers of the Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda. The peace agreement, as we heard there, has been brokered by the White House and Qatar, and it's to stem the bloodshed that we've seen in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo in the last few years, where a rebel group, the M23 group, allegedly backed by Rwanda, has occupied large amounts of land. So the deal just being signed now in Washington by officials of the two African countries, the DRC and Rwanda. Let's go to Alan Wekani, who is live for us in the eastern city of Goma. Alan, so your thoughts on this deal? You reported extensively on this story for the last few years. How is it being viewed where you are?
Well, it's a big step for people, but for people of DRC and also for the country, but people are also trying to see the reality on the ground here. We have to describe how the situation is, and also this deal, you heard clearly that they are not mentioning the M23 rebels and IFC coalition. This rebel movement right now, it's almost a big coalition right now, leading not only a sector or even a territory. They are now in control of the big province like in North Kivu here and also South Kivu. They have been appointing governors. They have now airport under their control. And people, by listening or by following this step in the US, they were trying to expect and to see what will happen exactly with the rebels on the ground here. And what we are getting from the rebellion, they are saying clearly that they are not concerned directly with this process, simply because the situation evaluated on the ground. We have to explain how things happen here between Rwanda and the DRC government, which has been accusing government of Rwanda of supporting the same rebellion, now controlling the area here. And then by accusing each other, the threat from President Felix Tshisekedi came out, even trying to mention clearly that he would like to change the regime or attack even Rwanda. And then Rwanda sent all these mechanisms or defensive measures that they are talking about. But this agreement right now, it's not saying clearly, and this is the concern of people here in the country, it's not saying clearly when the M23 will withdraw, and it's not even in the list because they are saying it's a different process. M23 is sticking on what is happening in Idoa, and it's still a failure for now because there is not any response over there. And then Rwanda always saying that they are not the one who should ask to M23 to leave because this is a Congolese problem. And also the country is going under a huge political crisis right now, which even the US is believing that this is the inside problem which need to be addressed, but at least they do believe that this process is a very good step which will pave the way now with another different process which is underway in Doha, and it will help at least to see how the next step will going on from now. And this is exactly what people will be following carefully from now on in the coming days, because this is still the main concern. And also we have to mention that on the ground situation is still very fragile. As right now we are talking here, I've been talking to people on the ground. There is the fighting which is going on between M23 rebels and even the DRC government and their coalition on the ground, including the same armed group which they are mentioning in this agreement, fighting alongside the DRC forces on the ground.
Yeah, so a lot of good stuff, really good stuff. A lot of praise of what's been going on for Trump and Marco Rubio. He's been doing his job first. Now I want to explain on kind of like what the whole situation is with the Congo and Rwanda, because it's been pretty much a proxy war for X amount of years. I'm not quite sure how long, but however, it's mostly like with the M23 movement, which is March 23, which is pretty much what it stands for. And essentially what it is that it is the March 23 movement, aka M23, and also known as the Congolese Revolutionary Army, is a Congolese Rwandan-backed rebel paramilitary group based in the eastern regions of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. It operates mainly in the province of North Kivu, which borders both Uganda and Rwanda. So that's what we have here. And then it's also tied to being Rwanda is being, supporting this. Like we have this here where Rwanda is widely believed to be providing support to the M23 rebel group operating in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Despite Rwanda's denials, the support includes providing troops, military equipment, and strategic guidance to M23. The M23 in turn has been implicated in human rights abuses, including attacks on civilians, sexual violence, and forced recruitment of children. So yeah, it's not great. It's really, really bad here. And this is what Trump has signed the peace treaty to try and stop this. Now, we have this here as well that we're going to go over with the whole detail behind this peace treaty and this deal was. So we have this here. Rwanda and Congo signed a U.S. brokered peace agreement on Friday, raising hopes for an end to fighting that has killed thousands and displaced hundreds of thousands more this year. The agreement marks a breakthrough in talks held by U.S. President Donald Trump's administration and almost aims to attract billions of dollars of Western investment to a region rich in tantalum, gold, cobalt, copper, lithium, and other minerals. At a ceremony with U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio in Washington, the two African countries' foreign ministers signed the agreement pledging to implement a 2024 deal that would see Rwandan troops withdraw from Eastern Congo within 90 days, according to a copy seen by Reuters. Kinshasa and Kigali will also launch a regional economic integration framework within 90 days, the agreement said. They are going at it for many years, and with machetes, it is one of the worst wars that I've ever seen, which is what Trump has said before. It says Trump later met with both officials in the Oval Office, which we all have seen this before, so I'm not going to report on that. It says Rwanda has sent at least 7,000 soldiers over the border, according to analysis and diplomats in support of the M23 rebels, who seized Eastern Congo's two largest cities and lucrative mining areas in a lightning event earlier this year. The gains by M23, the latest cycle in a decades-old conflict with roots in the 1994 Rwandan genocide, sparked fears that a wider war could draw in Congo's neighbors. Bullows told Reuters in May 23 that Washington wanted peace agreement and accompanying minerals deals to be signed simultaneously this year. So essentially, guys, is that Trump also prevented a future bigger civil war or even a massive war happening within its neighbors within that area. So this is a big deal. So essentially, the war could have potentially gotten worse if Trump did not sign this peace treaty or at least try to negotiate this. And this is what Biden essentially ignored. This is what Biden ignored. So good old Biden just not helping the African people. Good on him. However, the agreement signed on Friday gives Congo and Rwanda 3 months to launch a framework to expand foreign trade and investment derived from regional critical mineral supply chains. So, yeah. So a source familiar with the matter told Reuters on Friday that another agreement on the framework would be signed by the heads of state at a separate White House event at an unspecified time, which I'm going to assume that is the July of this month. I don't know when that will be. They didn't really say. The agreement signed on Friday voiced full support for Qatar-hosted talks, and it also says Congo and Rwanda will form a joint security coordination mechanism within 30 days and implement a plan agreed last year to monitor and verify the withdrawal of Rwandan soldiers within 3 months. So this is still an ongoing process that's going to be going on here, but yeah, this is a huge deal. And I'm very glad that this has been solved. Not because I really care for Africa at all, because I have no ties to it. So whatever happens to Africa is no skin on my bones. But it's just nice to have Trump actually care and want to solve peace and get peace around the world, which is what he's been doing and trying to get us into other conflicts. Granted, I'm still not happy with the whole war deal with Iran. I have problems with that, but he has done other things that has been great, so I'm going to criticize him for the things that I disagree with and I think he's done bad, but I'm also going to praise him for the things that he's done good. So he's done more good than bad. The war is a pretty big one, but I digress. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, guys, share. As always, take care, my friends.